Live from Television Park in high definition, the station you count on. This is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5.
Are still a big problem for one local county. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kimberly Scott.
And I'm John Hart. Brad and Jenny have the night off. Coverage you can count on begins with a News Channel 6 follow-up. Back in September, we investigated the safety of school buses in Edgefield County. They've been around for decades. So, have any changes been made? That is the question tonight. Ashley Bridges is live in the newsroom with answers in tonight's school report.
Mom, who was concerned because their son's bus broke down 3 times in the first month of school last year, leaving him stranded. She was concerned this was unsafe, so I took that issue to local legislators. They agreed it was unacceptable, but at the time they said they had no budget to fit the big bill for buses. So I decided to follow up to see if this truly is a top priority. Last fall, I met up with 10-year-old Clayton to talk about his school bus. The bigger problem was when it didn't go at all. The bus was more than 2 decades old.
It's actually the same bus I rode when I was in high school, and it was raggedy then.
Clayton's mom told me that had to stop, so I helped take that issue to State Senator Shane Massey.
We had been buying used school buses from Kentucky and Alabama that had been phased out.
He was appalled to learn that 58% of South Carolina's fleet is more than 15 years old, even though state law says if a bus is that old, it has to come off the road. Some of the buses were actually considered too old to be on the road in other states, and buses that old break often. That's when they wind up here racking up repairs and leaving students stranded.
Well, especially when you're dealing with situations where buses may catch on fire, or if buses are breaking down the side of the road and you have children who are stranded for periods of time.
Back in the fall, Massey said he couldn't help because there wasn't the budget to foot the bill. So what about now?
This was one of the top priorities in the budget for me because parents entrust their children to the schools, trying to get them there and also to educate them. We've got to make sure that we get the children there in a safe manner.
Next year should be safer. He worked with other legislators to secure $23.5 million for new buses. So what does that big number in the budget mean for students?
285 school buses. That's a lot of school buses.
He says the process for pulling old buses out of rotation will be worst first. And he says that means the money should be hitting the highways here at home. I followed up with that mother that I worked with in the fall. She says her son continued to experience problems throughout the school year all the way until the end. And she was happy to hear about the new budget for buses, but she says she'll believe it when she sees those buses on Edgefield County roads. Kim?
I'll take it from there. Parts of Martinez Elementary School are going to be torn down starting on Monday. That is when Thompson Wrecking Company says it will start that project. The school is being torn down to make way for a larger building to accommodate the growing population in Columbia County. Students and staff will use the old Bel Air Elementary School in the meantime.
Also out of Columbia County, there may be some confusion when it comes to paying your occupational tax. Now that's the tax required for all business owners to keep their doors open. We will break down the numbers and answer a few questions for you coming up tonight at 6 o'clock.
If you are customers of Overhead Door Company and your garage door is one of those being affected by the frequencies at Fort Gordon, listen up, got some good news. Last week, remember we told you Fort Gordon has been testing a new emergency radio system that operated on the frequencies used by many nearby garage door openers. Tonight, the manager of Overhead Door Company says customers who bought certain models and live within the affected area could be eligible to receive a new receiver and remotes for those doors. You'll have to contact the store to see if you are eligible. A local soldier is dead after an attack in Afghanistan this week. 21-year-old Army Specialist Ember Alt of Beach Island died when her unit was attacked. Alt was part of the 4th Infantry Division, which was based in Fort Carson, Colorado, still waiting on funeral arrangements.
3 more suspects are behind bars and charged with a murder in Louisville, Georgia. That incident happened last week, and today's arrest brings the total number of people behind bars to 9. Deputies are still looking for Octavius Hickson and Delonte Tarver, and today they said that they are looking for a 12th person in that murder, but they have not released that suspect's name. They say 23-year-old Alan Quarterman Jr. and another man were shot early Sunday morning outside Club Apollo in Louisville. Quarterman died from his wounds. Officers say the shooting is gang-related. For a complete list of suspects and charges, head over to our website. It's WJBF.com. And we are still waiting to find out the identities and the conditions of 4 people who were sent to the hospital after an accident on Mike Paget Highway earlier this week. Richmond County authorities say a truck carrying a woman and a young boy swerved to avoid hitting another truck that had stopped to make a left turn. Well, that truck then rolled over on a car with 2 men inside. The 2 truck drivers and the passenger of that car were taken to the hospital.
Trinity Hospital has been designated as a Level 3 trauma center by the Georgia Department of Community Health. The hospital now able to provide trauma care to patients in the community, in addition to Georgia Regis Medical Center, which is the only facility designated as a Level 1 trauma center in the CSRA.
By getting this designation, it shows that our community, that we were prepared to actually help offset any kind of traumas or anything like that that happens in the community on an emergency basis. And we're hoping to actually expand this across the entire state of Georgia.
Trinity's emergency department staffed 24 hours a day with board-certified emergency physicians and critical care registered nurses trained to handle patients in all types of emergency situations. Rapid HIV testing getting more convenient thanks to GRU's new mobile HIV testing unit. It's part of the Ryan White outreach team that aims to combat HIV infections by administering more than 900 rapid HIV tests each year. It's a mission organizers take to heart.
What we've found over the years is that most people don't wake up and go, oh, you know, today's my day, I should go get an HIV test. They wait until they see a sign and then go, you know, it's right here, I'm going to get it done. So with this, we're going to be able to take it out, and we'll have our signs that they're putting up right now, and that'll kind of hit people in the face with it, and they'll realize that it's time for them to get a test and learn their status.
And it's not all HIV testing. The mobile unit also provides BMI monitoring and blood pressure testing.
An update on a story we brought you last week about a home in South Augusta with an overgrown pool that's become a haven for mosquitoes and even snakes. Well, according to officials, that pool has now been filled with cement, and in addition to the back and front yard being cut and maintained, neighbors said the backyard of the home on Polo Court was overgrown with brush. Well, health officials said it had become a breeding ground for snakes and mosquitoes. The homeowners were cited last Friday. Meteorologist John Lynn joins us now.
You mentioned this earlier today,
Yes.
but it's a good segue, so I'm going to steal it from you.
Okay.
Has there ever been a better first day of summer than this one?
Absolutely not. I mean, barely a cloud in the sky, low humidity, afternoon highs were below average, and no rain.
Mm-hmm.
The only bad thing was we actually had to come in to go to work today, you know?
Yeah.
If you're headed outdoors... if you're headed outdoors later on this evening, here's your forecast by 8 o'clock. Just a few clouds and 82 by 10 o'clock tonight. Partly cloudy skies, temps down to 76. And by midnight, fair skies and temps down to 73. The first official day of summer was today, and it was beautiful. But some changes are on the way for the weekend. We'll have your Live Viper 6-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
The 4th annual Augusta Pride celebration is less than an hour from kicking off its 2-day celebration.
News Channel 6's Tyra McCoy takes a look at what's happening as the Augusta Pride organization gets underway.
1 year of planning and $80,000 is what Augusta Pride organizers say it took to put on this year's celebration, and they say the 4th time's the charm.
We have gone from a one-day festival to a 2-day event. So this is our first year doing our 2-day event, and it is a massive undertaking.
One that fellow board member Alonzo Smith says is nothing shy of a labor of love for the LGBT community.
To rejoice and to show what diversity, to show what love means, to honor the people that we've lost, to honor the people that we've loved, and to show everyone in this community that we are here.
Smith and a group of volunteers helped load and unload material, set up tents for the vendors, and took care of other last-minute touches for the kickoff event's Beats on Broad. After losing his partner of 20 years in March, Smith says this year's dance party and pride celebration has a more significant meaning.
It's important for us to realize that love is love no matter the shape, form, or fashion that it is. It is an opportunity for you to come out and support me, come out and support your community, come out and support the people in your life who may be questioning their sexuality.
And while board members and volunteers scrambled to check and double-check the sound system and party areas around the Commons, a busy Takia Brown stopped to give an official invite.
It's Friday. Everybody is welcome. Gay, straight, it doesn't matter. This is a party.